Hello, welcome back to the senior year game plan. Are you feeling stuck and unsure about your future? Maybe your guidance counselor doesn't quite get you, or you don't have a clear idea of what you want to do, or you just can't seem to find anyone to guide you. In this episode, we're diving into how you can take charge of your future even when it feels like you're going it alone. We're joined by Alice and Amari. These are two dynamic individuals, seniors at Forest Hills High School, who turned their lack of traditional mentorships into opportunities to network, grow, and then carve out their own paths as they're doing right now. So they're going to share some of their personal journeys and their insider tips on building connections from scratch and how to ask the right questions to find the guidance that you need. So if you have no mentors, no problem. By the end of this episode, you'll have an actionable plan and some steps to create your own network and uncover opportunities that align with your goals. So let's get into it. Tune in now to learn how to transform uncertainty into clarity and connect with the people who can help shape your future. So I'm going to start with what I call first section, section one, the reality of limited guidance. So you two, Amari and Alice, go to Forest Hills High School. My daughter goes there too. She's also a senior. I know that at that school, there seems to be a good connection with guidance, but I also know it's a huge school, and a lot of times the ratio of guidance counselor to student is several hundred to one. So I want to, before I ask you guys a question, I do want to acknowledge something important that you guys might have uh, opportunities to connect with your guidance counselors, but a lot of in this country don't have strong relationships with their guidance counselors. So Amri, I'll start with you. How do you feel about the support you've gotten from your school counselor? Do they give you support, or maybe they're super busy, or maybe you only have a chance to connect with them about graduation requirements? What is your experience been?
So when I moved here last year, my guidance counselor was the best. She was really she really helped me. I didn't have friends. Like obviously I just got here and then I was confused. New York was very different from where I came from, and she really encouraged me in many different ways. So she put me in good classes, and then I always was able to talk to her when I was having trouble. And this year, we still have a strong relationship. We talk about different things, not only pertaining to school, so it makes me feel comfortable, like I could go talk to her about many different things. And I really started getting to know my college counselor this year because that's important. And then they don't really they talk to you during junior year, but they really like focus on you this year. And my counselor is the best. So there's only two, and mine is Miss Bermudez, and she is like the best. She listens to everything I have to say. She's really nice. She gives great advice, and she helps me with literally the most. And I see her like maybe 3 times a day because I have the most questions. So
Okay, so
yeah, and
she's
then she
giving you,
literally knows my name.
that's great. So she's giving you college and graduation requirements, but she also seems to be giving you other type of guidance, maybe personal guidance or career guidance. What about you, Alice? Do you have any? Do you feel connected? Have you felt connected to your counselor this year? Maybe a little bit more because you're a senior, and so they need to make sure that to push you over the finish line. But how has it been the past in the 4 years now? This is your fourth year in high school with guidance. What's your experience?
Well, for me, I'm more closed off, so like I don't really like ask for help and guidance. So I reach out to my friends because they have similar views in my opinion. And like I feel like college counselors, I definitely became closer because I would ask for help, go out of my way because applying to college is like a first experience for me, so I wouldn't know anything. But then like in high school, like going into high school, I thought it was similar to middle school, so I just decided, oh, I'll be closed off and I'll ask my friends for help.
So, oftentimes, because there are so few guidance compared to the ratio of students to guidance, Maybe students have a chance to connect a couple of times about maybe transcripts or deadlines, or go to this website to look for different opportunities for scholarships. But a lot of students, myself, and asking people my age what their experience was with their guidance counselor, in hindsight, there's a lot of there's a lot more that can happen. It's just not enough time. Nobody's blaming the counselor, but really it's either you don't feel like you can go to them for advice about careers, or there's just not enough time. They have the best intentions, the guidance office, but with, like we said, hundreds of students to manage, they can't always provide personalized career guidance. But here's the good news, this is why we're talking about it. You don't need a counselor to start to build your network, or to learn about careers that interest you. So we've been talking about kind of how to do your own connecting to high growth industries without a network. We do a lot of this kind of legwork on our podcast here, talking about high growth industries, interviewing people in those fields to try to get us some kind of a network. So when we're talking about high growth, high demand fields like finance, data analytics, cybersecurity, these are incredible industries to consider because they offer job stability, like we've talked about. They have excellent pay. There is opportunity for advancement, but what if you don't know anyone in these fields? How could you ever begin? So I just want to go through a quick for people that are just new to kind of how to start to find some kind of a network. We want to first go to find high growth fields. If you don't know what you want to do and you don't know where to start, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, it's a government website, bls.gov. You can explore high growth careers based on a lot of things. You can explore what are the high growth careers. You can explore high growth and high pay careers. For example, data analysts, cybersecurity specialists, financial advisors are all expected and projected to grow significantly in the coming years. So you want to take note of the job titles that are on there, and then the industries that sound interesting to you. So if you're starting from scratch and you're realizing that maybe you don't want to apply to college, maybe you're looking for a trade, you need to really just to step back and say, what is it that is personally fulfilling to me? What is it that I want the most? And if that is just to get the most pay that you can in the quickest time, that's fine. You just need to identify what it is that you're looking for. Then one can go, without a network of their own, you can go to Indeed or LinkedIn to search for companies that are hiring for those types of positions that you have found through bls.gov to be the high demand, high paid job. Then you find on Indeed who's hiring, and then you can go to LinkedIn. You can go to search for professionals that are working in those roles. And for example, if cybersecurity, we talked about that a few times on this program already. You could find somebody on LinkedIn with a title like cybersecurity analyst or security engineer, and you can reach out to them. So you can send them a polite or a simple message, something quick like, hi, my name is Amarie Biru. I'm a high school student exploring careers in cybersecurity. I saw you work as a cybersecurity specialist at IBM. I'd love to hear more about your career path. Would you be open to a quick chat? So here's an important tip though. It does take persistence. You might hear no or get no response at all, but don't get discouraged. It does take 99 no's to get to one yes. So you have to keep going. And remember that one final yes that you do get after the 99 no's, it could be the connection that changes everything. So then you want to overcome your fear of reaching out. So Amarie and Alice, let me ask you this. How do you feel about reaching out to people that you don't know? Is it something that you'd be comfortable doing? Maybe you'll be nervous at first. You would think you sound annoying to them, or you think you're wasting their time. So I'll start with Amari. How do you feel about reaching out to people you don't know?
Currently, it's been something I had to do many times, so it's grown on me. At first, I was confused on how to properly send an email. So I would ask myself, am I addressing them correctly? Am I writing this properly? Do they understand what I'm saying? But after doing it like so many times, it's become something I like doing. So I like reaching out to new people, getting to know them, getting to know maybe for example why I'm reaching out. So maybe if I'm talking to an admissions counselor at one of the colleges and I don't know them, so I would introduce myself and I would look at their profile and then tell them, yeah, I like them that you're interested in that. Like they will have their hobbies on there. So I would like just mention a few things to show them like I was interested in them, not only the school but also in them. It's just grown on me how to properly like put myself out there, how to make them feel comfortable talking to me, to like make them know that I'm listening and I'm not just like sending an email like everyone else and it's like different, I guess. So
Good for you. So you differentiate each by kind of researching the person and saying something about what they put on their profile to kind of connect with them. That's a great idea. Um, what about you, Alice? Would you like kind of worry about not knowing what to say or how to make a good impression?
I feel like in the beginning, I was like definitely scared, but like it also grew on me as well. I realized in the future, you definitely need to like show interest and connect with people to form bonds and connections. And like rather than like doing research about them, right? You could also like share like the same interest as in like, oh, like if they're interested in environmental like protection, you could be like, oh, like what about like why are you doing this, what makes you passionate about this situation. It's definitely like it informs you and also informs the other person that you're also interested in what they're like interested in as well.
Oh wow, you guys really do have it together. That's so you don't have the normal fears that people might have, like worrying about what to say or worrying about that you are bothering the people, because it is normal to have those kind of fears. But actually, here's the thing: most professionals love to share their experiences, and especially with students. So the key is to be polite, like you guys were saying, and curious and respectful of their time. So, just to recap that, ways to make it easier to reach out to kind of strangers is you want to ask some small questions. So, you want to reach out to somebody maybe that you already know, like a teacher or a neighbor or a family friend, an extended relative, somebody in your robotics team's parents or something. So you want to then maybe have in your mind a couple of questions that are on the ready. So in your mind, you have some question like, "What do you like most about your job?" or "What skills are most important in your role?" And so if you want to use LinkedIn or meetup.com is another way to, in a soft way, network with people because there are Zoom group chats that you can join based on your interests and whatever industry or whatever you think you might want to get into for a career. So these type of platforms, LinkedIn and Meetup, they allow you to connect with professionals in a passive way, but it's effective. So that you want to join groups related to your interests and observe how others engage before engaging. So I want to jump into another section. So, what if you don't know what you're interested in? So, it's easy to go on LinkedIn if you know you're going to be a doctor or a defense lawyer. But if you really are not sure where you're going, you're still figuring out what you're interested in. That's okay because you want to start focusing on people who seem successful, people maybe whose jobs you find intriguing. um, Success doesn't have to mean being wealthy. It just is whatever you see as successful. And it could be that you see that that person loves what they do or that they have somehow built a career that aligns with their passions or maybe with your passions. So we want to brainstorm. I'm going to ask Marie, I'm going to ask Alice, if you didn't know what you wanted to do, who might you approach? So I want you to think, like we were saying, outside of the box of any adults that you might know who might seem like they're doing something that maybe is interesting for you, or you've seen them be very successful. Maybe it's an aunt, maybe it is somebody in your congregation, or maybe it's a friend's parent. So even if you are not sure if you would want their jobs, maybe you think they might have interesting advice to give you. So, Amory, who do you think you could reach out to? I'm just trying to help other people brainstorm with you of thinking about, besides teachers, or those are great, maybe like we said, extended family, parents of your friends, parents of robotics team, club. You're on robotics, Alice, club leaders. Um, what do you? What else could you add to this, or would you reach out to any of those, Marie?
If I didn't know what I wanted to do, I would probably brainstorm. Like, I would think about the people I know who have successful jobs, who are stable, and I would ask them what did they like in the pursuit of them coming up, like telling themselves, "Oh, I want to do this." Like, what did they go through? Like, were they like confused at first, or was it like I grew up knowing I always wanted to be a doctor, or did they always know that they wanted to do this, or it came like as they were going along? Because I feel like sometimes when we don't know what we want to do, like at first, and when it's not like a big dream from when we were like 6 years old, it's hard to figure that out when you're like almost 18, and people may feel discouraged. So I would not feel discouraged. I would put that aside, and I would just ask those around me. Maybe like you said, maybe if we're in a club, or our friend's dad, or something like that. Maybe even our parents. Ask them what they went through. What was their thought process? Were they confused like me? Or did they know like from the beginning? I feel like asking questions like that would give us like a better way to think it through for ourselves, asking like different questions, and not just being stuck on the maybe I'm stuck forever, or maybe I just have to go do this simple job, or my dream can't come true. I feel like asking these questions could really open our minds.
Okay, so questions like open-ended questions like, how did you get into this? Or
Yes.
how old were you when you realized you wanted to do this? Or
Hmm.
what is your backstory? So it would
That's
allow
a good
you to
question.
tell those kind of stories that, yeah, like some of us just assume that people were doctors come from doctor families, or lawyers come from lawyer families, but there might be an interesting story that could give you any kind of interesting advice, even if it's not a job that you might want. What do you think, Alice? Any other? Would you reach out to some of these that we mentioned, or somebody else?
I would definitely reach out to, like, those people that you have to like go volunteer for, or like outreaches, because as a senior we're required to have like at least 15 hours of volunteering hours. So I feel like, oh, like those volunteering places, you could ask like those organizers, oh, like why did you start this organization, what made you passionate about this organization. And that like really helps me in general. And also in like robotics, we have like this outreach thing where we help out people in the community, and they're really passionate about what they do, about like helping the environment, about like causing like a huge change in the world. So we were like, oh, is there any way we could help you? Is there any way you could teach us more about this topic that you're really interested in?
Okay, so you're talking about like going to kind of the leaders of these volunteer missions, like the leaders of the nonprofits, and saying, "Hey, how did you start this?" Because we're doing something like that too, right here on this podcast. We're like connecting dots that weren't connected before. So sometimes the pieces are in place, but the dots aren't connected. And so to see how other people started things that were not there before is definitely of interest. And when you see these people being successful in their nonprofit endeavors, in their outreach to the community, and helping the environment, helping people, uh, then you these are starting points of conversations that will help you learn more about what you like and then what you don't like. Because the more you ask somebody, even asking questions like, what is a typical day in the life at your job, you might find out that it's actually something that you like or that you don't like, that surprises you, and then it allows you to move on. So the more people that one can connect with and network with to find out more about anything that interests you, because like we said, the more you find out, the more you might realize that this is actually not what you like at all, but you didn't know that until you started asking around. So let's talk about then actionable steps to building a network. So we talked about making a list of people to approach. So of course, parents and teachers, but also we're talking about neighbors maybe, or friends' parents, or even friends' teachers. It doesn't have to be your teacher, but professionals at anywhere you can find them that seem to be doing something that you're interested in, and or professionals on LinkedIn in fields like finance and data analytics or cybersecurity, fields that are growing, that you might not know anybody in those fields. You might go to somewhere like LinkedIn and do your research based on the names of high growth, high demand careers. You can find them also on my YouTube channel, Hot Next Gen Careers. What are the in demand, high growth, high salary, return on investment careers? And then go towards the companies that are hiring them, and then reach out to people in those companies. So we're going to talk about you want to research jobs, you want to research industries, you want to ask thoughtful questions. You want to use platforms like the Bureau of Labor Statistics.gov and Indeed and LinkedIn to explore roles and companies in those high demand fields. So when you're reaching out to people, of course, be polite. You want to be direct who you are, what are your questions, and because you want to be respectful of their time. And then again, be persistent, because we can't get discouraged if we don't get a response right away or at all. It happens to the best of us, and it does take effort, but the connections that you do make, it will be worth it. So I want to just wrap that up about building the network. It does not happen overnight. You do have to be creative, but every step that you take, it will bring you closer to new opportunities. So then don't let fear and don't get discouraged, and don't let that stop you, because there are resources out there, and so are the people who want to help. So you just have to take the first step and try to connect with people that you do know, and to, even if you have uh, not a clue what you want to do, think about what is success to you, what does it look like, and who are those people, and reach out to them. Where did you get there? How did you start? When did you start? What was it that brought you here? And any piece of advice, even if it's not in the field that you're interested in, can be a stepping stone to something else. So I want to stop this segment here. We're going to come back to it because we want to move on to something else. But I want to first, Marie and Alice, I want to thank you for sharing your experiences of how you networked, and how you might approach reaching out to people, even if you're an introvert and in a kind of a disconnected world. where you feel like you really don't want to or don't know how to network and reach out to people, you're going to have to get creative because these guidance counselors, they're stretched far too thin. And so we are on this podcast reminding you to take matters into your own hands and to look out for any opportunities anywhere you see success, even if it's walking into a store and that you like the presence of the manager there, even if it's something that you're not interested in, but it's a leader of a project or a team, and you want to know how to be a leader. There's so many opportunities that you can use to reach out to people, but you're going to have to take the lead in your career, that you as in Amory, Alice, and everybody else out there, to try to make a network for yourself. It's not enough to rely on an alumni association from your school. It's not enough to rely on some kind of connections from your parents' job, or somebody is going to give you a job or hand you a job. It doesn't work like that. We have to now learn how to network and leverage in order to get the most out of our own experiences, because we have so many opportunities with the internet and our abilities to connect, with using LinkedIn and using the kind of guidance that's online to really create the connections that we need in our professional careers. So I'm going to stop this for 1 second. I'm going to reset that off. Okay, I'm going to stop this now. I'm going to welcome back to the senior year game plan. Today, on the second half of the episode, we're going to tackle some of the most stressful, but also the most important steps in your journey in senior year. It's preparing your application materials. So I say it in a small way because it is so stressful and so annoying. I have a senior in high school myself, my daughter, and it's a daunting time at this kind of last minute push. Maybe you applied early decision or early action, or maybe you're applying regular decision. But anyway, right now, December 1st, it's a pretty stressful time in your journey. So whether you're applying to college or trade school or certification programs, the documents that you have are your ticket to the future. So we're joined again by Alice and Amory. These are two incredible students who are helping countless other students to craft standout applications and ideas about career journeys. And so we're talking about their tips, our tips to you, our personal stories, and then, of course, actionable advice to help you create materials. And we are talking about personal statements and things like that, so to make sure that they truly shine. So let's jump into this, and let's talk first about why your great application materials matter. Alice, I guess I'll start with you this time. From your experience, why do application materials like transcripts and recommendation letters and personal statements, why do you think they carry so much weight? I mean, do you think it shows that you're extraordinary, probably?
I think that it shows that like you're beyond just like grades and scores and test papers, and like you actually have personality. I think a personal statement is like very important because it tells you something personal, like something personal about yourself towards like someone that's just like reading countless papers, countless like essays all day. And I think like also like brag sheets and resumes are really important too, because like if you were to do like a last minute or like letter of recommendation request, you could just definitely just like send in your brag sheet and just like ask your teacher, and they could help you out like really quickly without you having to worry like about like time limit, about what do I send them and stuff like that.
Okay, so when you say brag sheet, you mean the kind of bullet points of the great things that you've accomplished in the past few years that you give to somebody so that they don't have to come up with anything on their own. You basically are kind of helping them craft something in your favor. Okay, so you keep a kind of diary of your highlights, of your bullet points, your significant facts, so that you can give to your guidance counselor, then they can write the recommendation, or your teacher
from that. That is a really excellent recommendation. What about you, Amari? So would you also agree that these kind of materials highlight that you have your own personal story and it says something about your character and even your potential?
I know there are some schools that like say that they want more stressing on the grades and they don't really look at the recommendation letters and stuff like that. I don't think that's just my opinion. I don't think that is really a good way to really view a student because some people when they're put under pressure of exams and certain things like that, they freeze maybe, and I feel like there's different learners and people perform better under many different things. So maybe you're a good writer, but when it's time to take an exam, you freak out and then it's just too much for you. I feel like a really good way to look at a student, it's really like the full circle, which is what most schools do. That's why everything they say that they need from you is important and has so much weight. So the essay is a very important thing because it shows them not only how good you write, but about your experience and what you chose to tell them about yourself. And what you chose to tell them about yourself shows a lot about you because it tells them why that thing that you chose to write about is important to you. And it helps the people who are reading it to know who they're letting into their school, what type of person you are, and how you're going to contribute to their environment and their campus. Things like transcripts is obviously important because it's how, as my little sister,
Transcripts are important, but it's just a number. These other like letters of recommendation, your personal statement, your essay, it's really telling a story about who you are instead of just a number. You become a person. And then that story now, if you are back enough in the process that you can still craft the whole thing together, it really should be consistent that your brag sheet, your recommendation letters, your transcript, your essays, all are telling a cohesive story about who you are and where you want to go. Meaning that if you want to, let's say, get into healthcare, then the things that are on your brag sheet are focusing on how you help people, how you maybe were in research projects relating to healthcare. And so these are a way that you can have a story that extends beyond the numbers like you guys both said. So, okay, now we're into the stage if you're in December 1st. If you haven't already prepared your key documents, you're going to need to get together. So first up, transcripts. Do you have any advice on how students can make sure the transcripts are in order or in top shape? Did you download them and give them to your guidance counselor? Do you have to check them for errors? Did you do that?
For me, my guidance, they call like everybody individually on receiving like a physical copy of your transcript. And you could also like you have to just like double check your credits, like if you have the credits you need in order to graduate. And like you could also CR, which is basically this idea where you tell your guidance like I would like to remove this certain grade from your transcript because like it's not good enough and it's going to weigh down your overall GPA. I've known some people that did that and it really helped them boost their grade, but that's if your guidance like really allows it.
Okay, right. So you want to check for any errors. You might have gotten a 45 gym and not known it and it was an error. So you just kind of want to take a look at your transcript, make sure there's nothing crazy. And then if there is, like Alice said, you could potentially petition with the guidance and be accepted to remove that grade. Or if you have a particularly rough grade or even let's say a rough semester, don't panic. You can use a personal statement to explain the challenges that happened in that class, or you can even use that as an opportunity to show how you bounced back. So you can highlight that rough semester or that bad grade in your personal statement to explain how you overcame the challenge. So now I want to go on to recommendation letters. I see Amari has dropped out for a moment, so I'm going to go back to Alice. Alice, how can students ensure to get like the best recommendation letters?
I feel like that would be on like a personal level as well, because you have to depict on how close you are with the teacher.
So you want to build a relationship with the teacher. Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah. And then there's also like classes where you constantly have a teacher because there's like teachers that teach like several subjects over the course of the years. Because like for me, like I take comp sci, right? And like in the beginning, I had to take intro to comp sci, so I had the same teacher as like the next comp sci class, as in like CSA, which is computer science A, and those were like the same teacher. So I was able to ask her for a letter of recommendation.
Okay, so
Since I
so
have 1
you
year.
want to kind of go lean into the teachers that you've known the longest or who know you the longest. So Marie, we were talking about recommendation letters. Do you have any tips for students of how to ensure to get the best recommendation letters? Alice just said, try to lean in on teachers that know you the most. Like sometimes you have a repeat teacher for math 1 and math 2. So what about you? Do you have any ideas of how you go about, or how you went about getting the best possible recommendation letters? Did you build a relationship early with the teacher that you wanted to have write you the recommendation?
So junior year, I knew that I was supposed to get recommendation letters, but I didn't really choose a teacher. I just waited until senior year and see which teacher I had built the closest bond with. And I have a teacher this year that I had last year. It was for 2 different classes, but it was still in the social studies sector. So I asked her for a couple recommendation letters. And another thing I would look at recommendation letters for, and who I chose was what you need the recommendation letter for. So there's this program, like a special program I applied for. So I asked my psychology teacher so he could write one for me because it applied for what I wanted to do. So it was connecting law and psychology, which is what I want to major in. So I asked him to write it. So I think that would be a good idea to try to connect the teacher and what the recommendation letter is for.
Good point. Good point. So go to, if you want to be in healthcare, you might want to ask for your science teachers to write you their recommendation. You might want to lean into a teacher who knows you the longest. And then, of course, we mentioned before about that cheat sheet. What did you call it, Alice? Brag sheet that you built up. So then when you approach that teacher, it's not just a blank slate. You're giving them this kind of cheat sheet with your achievements and goals so that they can write a personalized, compelling letter. So what about the students who don't feel like they have strong connections with anyone? Like, how might they find the right person to ask? Marie, any ideas? Maybe would they want to go for somebody who might know them well academically? Maybe somebody who saw who you your grades improve with. It might not be the best grade that you got, but somebody who saw you overcome obstacles to improve your grade. Would you say that would be somebody to go to for a recommendation letter?
Yeah, I think that's something good to do, like to find someone who saw you improve, like take that big step. I know some kids that didn't ask their teachers for recommend, you were supposed to ask the 2 teachers beforehand before you send them a request. I know kids that didn't do that, and in junior year we were supposed to ask the teacher before senior year, and I know kids who didn't do that as well. I have a friend in particular, one of my friends, she didn't do that, and when it was time, she was freaking out, and I was like, oh my goodness, and then she was like talking to me, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? So we just sat down, and she was telling me a bunch of different teachers, and she asked one of her current teachers to write one for her, and the teacher, she was like the nicest teacher ever. She was really nice, she was really open to hear what she was talking about. And she understood that, yeah, there's some kids who aren't really on task sometimes. So she understood that and she was willing to write the recommendation letter for her. So there are some teachers who know that not all kids are always going to be where they need to be. So some teachers, if you find one like that, that's going to be good.
Yeah, that's a good point. So there are some sympathetic teachers that understand that not everybody is going to be the person on top of things. Not everybody's going to have a cheat sheet. Somebody's going to come at the last minute and not know who to ask, and it'll be at the 11th hour. So those gems of teachers that I'll do it for you anyways. Yeah, it's good to look out for those nice teachers. So let's move on to personal statements. I think that both of you guys applied some kind of early decision. So you probably did your personal statement already. So, Alice, I'll ask you this. What makes a personal statement stand out? What do you think? Like maybe
I
it's
feel like
authentic or maybe it's specific?
I would like when I was writing my personal statement, I avoided topics that were more general of like regarding like, yes, you could talk about your race or you could talk about like your sports that you did, right? But that's very generic. So I decided to choose like something that resonated more with me and like connected with my family or like anything that I was like more interested in because I want the person that was reading my essay to feel like, oh, this person like no, I want them to like, when you write your personal essay, I want them to think about me like constantly. And like after like a bunch of essays, they'll still remember, oh yeah, this person talked about this. And that's my main goal. And it worked out.
Okay, so personality, you want to show your personality. You also want to show some kind of way that you grew or way that you changed. And then also maybe, Aubrey, I'm just giving you examples because I want to ask you the same question. Maybe also it would show, does your personal statement show how you might contribute to the program that you're applying to? What do you say stands out, Amory, for personal statements? Or would you agree with all of the above? You want to show your personality, you want to show things how you overcame something and grew.
I agree with everything. I think you could write your personal statement however you want it to come out to the person. If you want to talk about maybe your family, like Alice did, or I know there's like those wide variety of questions they put out there, so you could like use as a guideline. That's fine as well. I mean, they put it out there for a reason to give you like a head start. I think if you want to do something completely different, that's a good tool. Like it really shows who you are. When I was doing mine, I chose one of the questions. So I wrote about my experience back from where I'm from, my country. So I spent my middle school years back home and I wrote about a big experience I had that really shaped who I am. So if you want to do something like that, I think that's good as well. If you want to talk about, I know there's this like questions that kids go for that teachers say aren't really the best questions to go for. So it's like maybe if you lose a loved one, I know people like to write about that. But if you really want to write about it and you feel like it shows who you are and it has a big impact on you, go for it. But if you just want to write about it because you have no idea like what to write about, I don't think it's the best thing to go for. I think you should really search for something that represents who you are. I know it's sometimes hard to figure out what that is, but there is something for everyone. It's just finding it and crafting it together, knitting it together. It really is a big deal.
Right. So everyone has a unique experience, several unique experiences. Everyone has overcome some kind of hardship. Everyone has learned something and grown because of some particular experience. So the personal statement, we're just reminding you they want you to show, not tell. Right. And so if it's a situation, if it's an experience where that you overcame and it led you to grow into the person you are now. So you want to show us what that story was, what happened, maybe get us into the situation where it happened or get us to the point where you are at your absolute bottom. Because you want to start with an interesting point, or we call it a hook in the English class, but you want to hook the reader, grab their attention, to make them pay attention to what you're saying. But again, whatever story that is that you're telling about yourself, you want it to resonate. You want it to be, your unique and personal story, how it showed growth, but you also have to remember to tell it in an interesting way to grab the reader's attention. So we say again, show, don't tell. Show us what happened as you experienced that terrible situation that made you grow, for example. So you might want to go into management and you're trying to explain or tell or show about your leadership experiencing, but realizing that you, by example of maybe how you took care of your siblings or a particular experience taking care of your siblings that highlighted how you were a leader. So just because you were never a manager, of course you weren't, you're 18 years old or not even. But you do have some management skills taking care of siblings or leading a small team at school. So there are ways to get around most things that we want to do. Leadership, management, healthcare. You've never worked in these fields. but you have some relatable story to that field and you can make that interesting in your personal statement of how that led to something meaningful for you and how it changed your life and made you see something in a different way. Again, it's unique and it's personal. It's your personal statement. It sounds daunting, but the more you let people in your application know that you're not just a number, the more you're going to stand out, like Alice and Omri said, and they'll remember you, like Alice said. You want to be very memorable to you. To them. So actionable takeaways. And so we can wrap up with some quick tips. These are, well, I'm going to ask Alice and Amarie. So for 3 things every student should do before submitting their application materials, would you say, I'll give you some examples, maybe proofread, maybe have somebody review it, your materials for clarity and also for impact? Would you say submit something in case something happened and you thought it was submitted, but it actually wasn't, and then you missed the deadline? Would you say any of that, Alice, or would you add to those?
I would definitely say one is definitely double check your applications, check if everything's filled out, check if everything's correct. Because sometimes they just say, oh, file, and then they wouldn't say, oh, what file it is. You could definitely overlook that. And there's also this additional section that's any additional information that you want to include. I say fill that section out because they're giving you the option to tell more about yourself. So you should definitely fill that out. And I think that's the main thing.
Okay. So make sure you check and recheck. And then when they give you any other opportunity to show yourself, take the opportunity. So anything else? So we said customize. Alice said if they give you some open-ended questions, anything, take that. What about Amarie? Do you keep a backup just in case? Do you save everything? And what about your confidence? So are you confident that even when you hit submit, that you are the great asset for your application? You have to be confident in your journey. So do you think confidence plays a part?
I think confidence is one of the biggest things ever. So one of the things I had issues with was when I submitted something, I would realize, oh my gosh, I would go over it after submitting, it would have a difference. Why would I go over after submitting? What am I going to do now if I made a mistake? So what I did, I think I went over my applications 5 times. I don't know, I was probably so scared that I made a mistake or something, but I went over everything so many times. It's I knew what was already there, but I still went over it. So I don't think you can go over something enough. Like Alice said, there was when you upload something, it says file. And I'm like, did I upload the right thing? It's just this little voice. Are you, is this okay? Is this good? So with the essays, someone would read it for me. So maybe my aunt or my mom, a teacher, I would always have someone read something for me. Even if it's just a little paragraph. Because you could make a mistake with a word and you would not even see it. It's right in front of you, but you would not even see it. So I would have people do that for me. Yeah, I would go over everything 100 times just to give myself peace. And then then I would be confident. Then I would be, yes, everything is good. So then I would submit.
Okay. And then after you submit, do you feel confident or are you still
I
going?
still go over after I submit.
That should have been here. Maybe I should have switched this sentence first and this one second. Yeah. So that's where the
Yeah.
confidence goes in, because if you did all of those steps, if you double checked, if you saved your work, if you reach out to others, have them double check your work, if you did all of those steps, then you can hit submit with confidence because you did everything that you did. Now, nobody controls you. You can't care too much about things that you can't control. Once you hit submit, it's in somebody else's hands. If you don't get in, that is just an experience. Like we said, 99 no's to get to 1 yes. And so no is just part of the game. Everybody hears it, including any famous person that you can ever think of, Michael Jordan, etc., that have had plenty of no before they got to the yes. So I want you to step back and feel confident that you did the best that you could do in this process. And then the rest is up to chance. So Amarie and Alice, I want to thank you so much for sharing your insights today. To all of our viewers, remember the application is your story. So you want to make it, and if you're feeling stuck, don't forget to check out our resources that we put out here at the Senior Year Game Plan. We are here to unstuck you. We've got a couple of videos that can quickly get you going, get you thinking, reassessing your interests. Where are the scholarships? What is the action plan? And you can really get to the game. So you got this, everyone. And until next time, keep planning and keep dreaming and keep working towards your goals. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, thank you.